Cypress, Texas is exploding with new growth. We need to find out if it's the right fit for you. Hi, I'm Brandon Snyder, team leader of Selling the Snyder Group here in the greater Houston area. I help families just like you moving to the greater Houston area find the perfect place to call home. I'm a former California transplant, and I am going to give you all the ins and outs of the city. Today is all about Cypress, Texas. Now, you may think, well, this is Houston. Cypress is a suburb of Houston and it's right outside of Houston. It is one of the fastest growing areas in the country. We're going to dive into that today. We're going to talk about schools. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about things to do. So let's dive into it. One of the things that I love about Cypress is the lifestyle. When you look at Cypress, there's so many communities with so many different events. And if you watched one of our recent videos, you can actually see what we're talking about with these events: trunk or treats, community events at the church, inside the neighborhood. All these master plan communities have all these events for families, for kids. It just doesn't stop, and there's always something going on. Cypress has that. Now, there's a huge master plan community in Cypress that everyone seems to flock to because of its events, because of how many parks from the neighborhood. That's Bridgeland. Absolutely love Bridgeland because there's so many walking trails. There's water in the community that you can walk along. There's events going on all the time. There's restaurants inside the neighborhood. There's shopping inside the neighborhood. You literally don't have to leave the neighborhood if you don't want to. I love this about Bridgeland, but specifically Cypress. Cypress feels like that area where if you live in the right part of Cypress, you really don't have to drive far to go to anything you want to do. Whether that's going to church, whether that's taking your kids to school, whether that's going to the gym. There's a huge gym literally inside of Bridgeland in that area. There's a Lifetime there that everyone seems to go to because it's just convenient. You can go to restaurants. You really don't have to leave the area. So lifestyle is a huge part of what people look for when they're moving out here. When we're talking to our clients, what do you want to do? I want to be close to things. I want to be close to my friends, to my neighbors, to the area, and be able to go in and just have that sense of community and not really change whatever we have in our current lifestyle. I see a lot of transplants come here. They want that community. They want that family style life where they can come in, do sports, do all the extracurricular activities, and not really have to change their lifestyle. Number two is schools. And this is probably one of my favorite parts about Cypress. We have acclaimed schools. Cy-Fair ISD is one of the most acclaimed schools in the state. Now, it is not going to be as good as a private school. We see a lot of private schools in the Houston area are starting to get top remarks. This is great because it means there's competition, there's room to grow. The Cypress area is growing so much and so many people are moving here that the schools are getting better. They're building more schools inside of these communities. Like I talked about Bridgeland, they have their own schools on site in the neighborhood. And even in the area, they're going to continue to build more and more schools and more opportunities for kids to grow. Now, what I will say is that they're not overpopulating these schools. Growing up on the West Coast, there were 35, 40 kids to a classroom. They're not doing that here because they continue to build more schools to even out that teacher to student ratio. Highly recommend you check out Cy-Fair ISD. It is competing with some of the other schools that we talk about in some of our other videos like Friendswood and Conroe and Montgomery. But Cypress ISD, they got it going on. Now, here's something that we don't really talk about a lot when we talk about moving here is it's affordable. Moving to Cypress is not an expensive feat. Now, it can get expensive, and I want to be very clear about that. There are pocket neighborhoods that are going to be $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 for the same home that you may be paying $400,000 or $500,000 in different parts of the greater Houston area. That definitely can happen. But because there's so much new construction being built, housing affordability seems to be stable out here, specifically because you can get a home for $400,000 or $500,000 out here. And especially for you transplants, that seems fairly cheap. You can get a lot for that. You can get a home in Cypress, a couple years old with a pool, $400,000 or $500,000. We see it day in, day out with our clients. You want to build something new? You want to live in a McMansion? You can also do that out here, and it's reasonable. Now, when we say reasonable, we think of comparative to where we grew up in California. $700,000 out here is $2 million out there. There's something to keep in mind is that there are going to be pocket neighborhoods that are a little more expensive than what people are used to. Just keep that in mind and pay attention to that. That's what we're here for. We definitely can help you find homes that are in the right budget. The biggest thing about Cypress that I've seen recently is the growth. This is becoming such a cool part of Cypress. We're seeing so many people move out here and become a part of our community. Cypress, Texas has so much going on, and there's just more and more growth happening all the time. We're seeing more chains of restaurants that we like come into Cypress. We're seeing more mom and pop businesses come in. People are finding the opportunity in Cypress They're spending the money to come out here, build their businesses here, build their life here. I, just want to highlight a restaurant that we went to, Curry Pizza House. It's a West Coast chain that they actually moved into the middle of Bridgeland and Cypress. It's amazing. There's a Star Cinema Grill. It's a big, you sit down and eat your food and watch your movie. Love it. It's all in the middle of Cypress right there. You don't have to leave the area, and it's growing, so they're continuing to add things. We have a Target literally right down the road in Cypress, right off the freeway as you're going to head into Houston on 290. There's so many different things. We have multiple Walmarts. You really don't have to leave the area, and it's continuing to grow. So that's just a huge opportunity for business owners and for you. If you want to be a part of the hustle and bustle of the area, you don't really have to leave your area because it's growing so much. We just got Bridgeland Central just really started to be built. And then you have the new HEB there with the barbecue place. If you haven't been there, you have to try it out. And then they're going to keep building out there. They're going to keep adding things to Bridgeland. I highlight Bridgeland a lot because this is where a lot of our clients end up moving to because they want to be a part of that master plan community and that lifestyle. So just keep in mind, it's going to keep growing. But this kind of brings me to my next point. With the growth comes traffic. Now, they are working on that. Obviously, we have the Toll Road 99 that comes along the whole Cypress area and goes all the way north and east if you need it to. But we're noticing that there's a little more traffic than there used to be here in Cypress. Now, I'm not going to hate because I grew up in California. Again, I had to spend 4 hours to get, 50, 60 miles. So what I have noticed is that roads are starting to be developed. Things are about to start to get widening out because we have more people wanting to live in this area. They're all moving to this area. So it's going to continue to grow. Now, if you are not a fan of that, you don't want to fight traffic, Cypress might not be the area for you. But keep in mind, wherever you move, there's going to be traffic somewhere at 8 in the morning, at 5 o'clock at night. It happens. It's always going to happen. But they're continuously making improvements to get us more roads, more feeder roads. Now, if you've never seen a feeder road before, that might not make any sense to you. The feeder road comes alongside the freeway, and you can get off of it, and you don't have to get on the freeway. It's great. I love it. Definitely alleviates some of it. But if you've never seen that, just keep in mind the area is growing. The traffic is going to be there. They're trying to alleviate that, but just think as more people move into the area, there's going to be more traffic. I got to keep it real for you guys because you're listening to this, you're watching this, and you're probably like, man, I don't know if I want to move to that area. We can show you all kinds of areas across the greater Houston area that maybe they have less community and less traffic, but you want to be left alone. Maybe Waller is for you, Hockley. That area just borders Cypress, and you don't have to go fight all that. If you want to go move north, you want to be near the lake, Conroe, Willis, Montgomery. We're going to highlight some of those areas. You can watch in the other videos. Those areas will show you what's going on out there. But most importantly, if you want to move to the greater Houston area and you're thinking about making this move, we're trusted professionals. We've helped hundreds of families buy and sell in the greater Houston area, and we would love to serve your family. You can reach out below if you have any questions about the Cypress area, greater Houston area. You can actually fill out the survey below, and we'll reach out to you about your specific home buying or home selling needs. Or if you're thinking about investing in the greater Houston area, this is also something that our team specializes in. We help plenty of investors buy rental properties across the greater Houston area to develop their portfolio or even make it larger. So we'll catch you on the next one, and thanks for hanging out with